Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story. This is a National Geographic documentary, and yes, it's the second, not only the second shark-related thing in a row, but it's the second documentary with the word Jaws in the title. And not like alphabetically Jaws. The other one was Counting Jaws. This one's Jaws at 50. One's about real sharks. The other one's about a mechanical fake shark. And the sharks that were and the shark that was in a book that inspired it. And inspired a whole wave of shark love and, well, also hunting of sharks. That's a whole other thing that they do touch on in this. This is from 2025, of course, the 50th anniversary. It's an hour and 28 minutes long. 50 years ago, 1975. 51 now, and ironically, it's the 2,351st episode. It's all fitting together. I was thinking, wow, man, it would be great if this had been the 2,350th episode. No, it's the 51st, because it's been 51 years as of this coming summer since Jaws was released. In a time when there was no such thing as blockbusters. It became the biggest blockbuster of all time to that date, only because it invented the term blockbuster, because it involved people standing in line around blocks, city blocks, just to either get a ticket or have a ticket and get in and get a seat and not be stuck in the front corner. That's just not a good view. I don't even know why they make seats there, just to say they have the capacity. Nobody wants to sit up there. Come on. Anyway, this is it does a number of things. Because it's a National Geographic, yeah, there's a focus on sharks and the people that did a lot of shark diving. We've seen documentaries with them before. Roy and Valerie Young, I believe. They had gone. I bet you I've gotten that wrong, but Roy and Valerie are their names, or Ron and Valerie. Dang it. Anyway, they are iconic diver couple, and they did extra B-roll footage of sharks underwater to be incorporated into the film. They were the people that you want to do that kind of thing back in the day. You could get Jacques Cousteau. Maybe he'd be into that, but he doesn't appear in this. His son does. Philippe does a bit of commentary on this as well. A number of shark experts show up in this, but this is like 95% about the making of the film, the career of Steven Spielberg. This is the movie he thought would end his career. It made it. It made him the most wanted director of his time and ever since, pretty much. He can choose to do whatever project he wants because he's Steven Spielberg. He got final cut, which means a lot to directors because of this film. It's the kind of thing usually the studio goes, well, no, we want more whatever's popular in the movie. Could we throw those in there? Pet rocks is a big thing right now in the 70s. Could we put more scenes with pet rocks and the shark when we have time? No pet rocks. I'm just making that up. There was never a desire for the studio to go, oh, you know what, let's put some pet rocks. I'm just saying that was an example. But what we get here also is a who's who of filmmakers, creators, directors. Yes, of course, George Lucas shows up and says a few things. Guillermo del Toro, James Cameron, Cameron Crowe. It's a long list. Let's see. Oh yeah, I just said. Greg Nicotero, which a lot of you will know for his horror stuff, especially all his work with the Walking Dead shows and things like that, making so many different versions of zombies that I don't know if we ever really imagined to that point until Greg Nicotero took on the Walking Dead. J.J. Abrams, of course, Steven Soderbergh. Emily Blunt shows up here pretty often as just talking about her experiences. There's references to what makes a perfect film, and there's an interview point where I think Jimmy Kimmel is asking Quentin Tarantino about what he considers a perfect film, and there's just a very short list. Trust me, Tarantino has a very short list for some things and a very long list for many others. But one of the short list greatest, almost perfect films is Jaws to him. It's high praise. Zemeckis, Robert Zemeckis is also seen in this. Jordan Peele, good grief. Yeah, so we get a lot of brand new interview footage mixed in with some older footage, especially some stuff that was filmed at the time they were making the film or soon after the film was released with Roy Scheider. Why can't I say Richard Dreyfuss? And I'm gonna mess up. Why can't I say his name? He played Quinn. I can't find his name in here. Robert Shaw. That's what it is. Didn't even find it, but I got it. Robert Shaw. So Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, and now I'm forgetting Roy Scheider's name. The main three characters in the film, and along with a number of other actors, and it includes a lot of the people who still lived in that small town that played Amity in the film, the small seaside town of Amity. Most of the people you see on screen, other than the main actors who played the characters with names, almost everybody were real people from that village, and it's kind of neat to see how they turned some people into icons, into characters in their own right. Well, they were characters in their own right, and they brought who they were to this film, and it's a kind of neat thing. Some of the iconic lines that are in here also, yeah, totally just normal people, not actors at all. They also talk about the true villain, the metaphor, the politician, the mayor who's eager to have the cities, the beaches stay open despite the threat of sharks. Put the risk of his people, the people of the town, at risk. Put the lives of the people in that town at risk to make sure they're open for business on the 4th of July weekend. All that's in there. Yeah, it's not just about sharks. We also get there's a lot of talk about Bruce himself, the shark, the name for the shark, named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer. Got to experience, you get to learn about the many issues that nearly destroyed Steven's career because he was over budget, 100 days past due on finishing this. So then to even years after, he was still having what was essentially going to be called PTSD, because they didn't have a term for it back then. The PTSD he experienced. He says in this, honestly, if you have any love of Jaws or filmmaking or sharks, you definitely need to watch all this. I'm just going to give you a few little snippets here, but there's a point where Steven used to go to the Universal Studios a lot, lay down in one of the boats, and while people were taking the tour, you go past the Jaws shark, and he jumps out of the water, and water sprays everywhere. Steven would just lay in that boat nearby and cry, because he was still trying to just recover from the madness of making that film, the film that wouldn't stop being made, even after it was done, even after it was successful. But yeah, he throws a lot of the congratulations, the greatness of this film onto the heads of so many people who contributed to it, whether it's the actors, the people behind the scenes, the people who worked tirelessly on the water, the people of the village that filled those beaches and ran screaming whenever they told him, "Hey, there's a shark out there, run." So yeah, it's fun. Oh yeah, by the way, of course they touch on John Williams' music. You can't have Jaws without that music. Period. Take it out of the movie. Take it, mute it when you think there's going to be a shark on the screen, and it does not have the same impact. And if there's only a little snippet of that interview, it's a much older interview and some other pieces. If you want to know more about John Williams, how that music came to be, and why, and if you want to learn any of that, definitely check out the John Williams documentary that's on Disney Plus as well. There's a bit longer sequence that talks about the Jaws music. 2 notes that scared a generation. I was a little too young to appreciate this when it came out. Too young to go see Jaws, believe it or not, at that time. But since then, I've gotten a greater appreciation for it over the years. Getting to see it in the theater in just a gorgeous, perfect sound, perfect picture. On the 40th anniversary and the 50th anniversary last year, I got to go and just fully see it. A friend of mine who was also even younger than me when Jaws came out, and he admitted he'd never seen it in the theaters before. Well, I had only seen it 10 years before him, but still. This is just you get to see the there's lots of terror on screen. There's lots of scares. Sometimes there's a lot of difficult actors. Well, not a lot, at least one difficult actor. But you get to see what it's like to put together possibly one of the most impactful movies ever made. It will go down in history as one of the greatest films ever made, whether you're into it or not. Maybe you might think it's a little bit too scary. It doesn't have the pace of what we see as horror films. This isn't simply a horror film. It is scary, but the way we see horror films these days, they're so structured in such a way they're almost predictable in many ways. There's more independent filmmakers that are moving away from structured, predictable sequences, and that's great. That's fantastic. But also there's horror directors and writers that are heavily borrowing from the things they love most, including Jaws. And that's not a bad thing, especially if you can make it your own. And Steven, of course, was inspired by Alfred Hitchcock, using even some of his own camera tricks in the film. But so yeah, there's inspiration at every level when it comes to making horror. So, but this is, again, to me, this doesn't really count as a horror film, at least not the way we see horror. So it's good to watch this and get a fuller, more rounded idea of what putting together a film like this is like behind the scenes, and the reaction that came from it. I mean, this is based on a book, a very popular book by Peter Benchley, and they were just like, oh, you know what, let's option this and make it into a movie, and it couldn't get made fast enough, and it kept taking a while. It took longer and longer, but it paid off in the end, and you get to see the passion, not just of fanboys who were seeing these things that grew up to be directors, just like him. Guillermo del Toro tells a story about the 2 first records he ever bought was... I can't remember the other one, but the other one was Jaws, obviously. So, with his own money, a record he bought with his own money. This is the first record I ever bought with my own money, right here, above my head. Flash Gordon, 1980. Yeah. I mean, I had records before that. If you don't know what records are, talk to your grandparents, or just look right here. Their records are popular now again, right? It depends on the generation. Doesn't matter. Anyway, if you've got a hankering for the joy and the fear and the terror and the magic of movie making, check this out. Until then, let's pick tomorrow's episode. 87. 87. Okay. It's not another shark thing, surprisingly. There is only like one more maybe two. I think no, only one more shark thing, one more shark documentary. Um, but man, I was like, hey, wouldn't it be great if I had a short thing soon? I mean, I had a bunch of movies the other day, all like 2.5. Spider-Man was 2.5 hours, and another one was an hour and a half, and this documentary's an hour and a half. Wouldn't it be great if I got a short, or maybe something even like 25 minutes? Let's watch some kids stuff, maybe. Who knows? No, no, no. I don't get that. I get Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, the final show. Yeah. This thing is 3 hours plus. I mean, it's easy to put it on in the background while I do other things and just listen to the music, but it's a stage show. It's a fantastic stage show. I've seen the other concert that she has on here, and whether you like her or not, it really doesn't matter. For me, I've never been a Swiftie fan, and I'm probably going to say this again tomorrow, but I've never been a humongous fan of hers. It's just not my music, but she puts on a fantastic performance, and a big part of that is just the set design, just everything that goes in to making her pop out of the stage or drop into the stage, and the dancers and the lights and everything else, the changing stage. Well, we're going to see the final show. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. And make sure you get all the words here. Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, the final show is what we're watching next in the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.